looks like it's one better on 5. Money? Yes, we got it, guys.
I got it.
We got it again. Let's go. Alright, let's make it a good one. I only got one to start. 4 more. 4 more. Ready? Come on, 3. 3. Oh my goodness. That was better. 3 machines. Right pressure. Counters. Alright, we need 3 more. There we go. Come on, 3. 3. Oh no.
Not go. Oh man.
Oh, this is bad, guys. This is really bad. We need 3 of them right here. Oh, right now, guys. Well, we're not going to tell stories about that one. That's okay.
What? Right.
I'd like to review it before we go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I did post a new Tucker up. I went ahead and risked it. Yeah. Do you want to watch? He was here in Ohio, in Cleveland. And those people that I have some of those meetings with online, the people from Cleveland, the Ohio Value voters, they met him. They took a picture. Well, they just posted it. There it is.
I'm really struck by this.
Ballot initiatives. This issue.
It's so very different from politics that other people found before for most of that
A little
time,
younger.
the debates that we had before this year were over competing visions for how
He's a little younger.
the minimum wage was always a really intense debate. And I always felt like maybe the minimum wage took jobs, and yes, that's what my side said. And I think that's probably true. And the other side would say that people need more money to do it, so we're going to mandate that they make this much. And it was I was on one side of it, but I could also sort of see the other side. Both sides were at least pretending to try to improve the lives of the people who voted for them. But when you wind up in an election where the two top ballot initiatives are, one, encouraging people to kill their own kids,
Right.
and two, encourage their kids to do drugs, Who's benefiting here? I'm serious. The one unalloyed source of joy in your life is your children. The point of life is to have children. And
Yes.
to watch them have grandchildren. Nothing will bring you joy like that will. Nothing comes close. Nothing comes close. Would you trade your job for your children? Would you trade anything for your children? Of course not. And so anyone telling you don't have children, kill your children, is not your friend, is your enemy.
Wow.
And by the way, it's a very recognizable promise that they're making, because it's as old as time and it's chronicled in great detail throughout the Hebrew Bible. It's human sacrifice,
Yes.
which rears its head about every 4 chapters, and which is singled out for approbation every time of all the sins the ancients committed. That sin, every single time it's described,
No,
is called
no,
the
no,
testament.
no.
In our speech. And to watch them have grandchildren. Nothing will bring you joy like that will. Nothing comes close. Nothing comes close. Would you trade your job for your children? Would you trade anything for your children? And so anyone telling you don't have children, kill your children, is not your friend, it's your enemy. That was a very recognizable promise that they're making, because it's as old as time and it's chronicled in great detail throughout the Hebrew Bible. It's human sacrifice. It rears its head about every 4 chapters, and which is singled out for approbation every time of all the sins the ancients committed. That sin, every single time it's described, is called detestable, at least in the RSV. Detestable. God singled that out. Throw your children into the fire. And why were people doing that? Because, of course, they believed they were getting power and contentment and happiness in return. All it's going to take is a sacrifice. All this time, every civilization on the face of the earth has engaged in it. Everyone, not just the Mayans, the Aztecs, but the Scandinavians, my people, the Irish. No, it's true. Even the Swedes did it. I know. It's embarrassing. But the archaeological record tells us that human sacrifice, the sacrifice of children, the killing of children, is the one constant in human civilization. Now, you answer the question, how can that be? How did all these civilizations, at different points of the compass that we know had no contact with one another, reach the same conclusion that in exchange for killing their own children, they would be happy or safe? Probably not a conclusion they reached organically, right? It cuts against the imperative of evolutionary biology, which is to continue the species. And those of us who grew up in the secular world being taught that people are motivated by instinct designed to continue the species, pause at that and say, wait a second, how does killing your own children advance the cause of protecting the species? It doesn't. In fact, it's an attack on that. So it's not a natural human function to want to kill your own children, actually. That's an idea, an impulse that was introduced. Outside forces are acting on people at all times throughout history, every culture on the planet, to convince people that if they sacrifice their children, they will be happy and safe. And that's exactly what this is. This is a religious right. This is not a policy debate. They're not telling you that some girl got raped at 13 and she didn't go to college and therefore unfortunately was aborted. No, that was 20 years ago. Now they're saying abortion is itself a pathway to joy. No. So this is not a political debate. This is a spiritual battle. There's no other conclusion.
There you go.
Take more drugs and be happy. Right. Okay. Less conscious, less aware. Give your soul over. Dull yourself. Become a robot. Really? Those are the promises they're making? So how do you respond to this? That's what I've been thinking about all day. I'm on my walk with my dogs. Pretty much I drive much with them every morning, my wife and I. And by the way, I'm not a theologian. I'm the opposite of theologians. I don't take any theological insight from me at all. I'm just a reader, okay? And here's what's jumped out at me. So, my second favorite character in the New Testament is Paul. And I think, from what I can tell, the bulk of the New Testament is written by or about Paul.
Yes.
He's a leading character in this drama, I would say. And I think just an amazing person. Because he was not a good person. He was like a horrible person.
Right.
He was on his way to murder Christians. He was knocked down and blinded. And then pivoted on a dime. And devoted his life to spreading the gospel. So I find it very inspiring that a truly awful person could become one of the great people of all time.
Yes, we got to remember that. Yes.
But the two qualities that really jump out of the story of Paul's life, first and most obviously, is the courage. This is the bravest guy ever. There's not a letter he wrote where he didn't have a sword hanging over his neck. He expected at any moment to be murdered, and I think the consensus among the historians is, in the end, he was. He was murdered, as were all his friends. But he lived with the certainty every day.
Yeah.
And he was totally unbuckled. Completely. He was moving as fast as he could in the time allotted. He knew how much he had to be careful. Never afraid. As his boat was sinking in the deck. In his year-long journey, and look, never let us freak out. Totally fine. Oh, shipwreck, no problem. Never afraid. Why wouldn't he be afraid? He believed his fate was sealed. He was going to join Jesus. He was going to heaven. He was totally convinced. And it seems to me maybe the one takeaway is, okay, that's table stakes in Christianity. Fearless. That is actually the marker of it.
There you go.
Are you afraid or are you not? Well, if you're afraid, then you're kind of not doing it right. There's no excuse for being afraid. I don't want to take this opportunity so graciously giving me to spend the next 10 minutes counting. But I grew up in it. Ancestors were in it. High level people in it. Married into it. Even as it humbled. But the moment that we left for good, actually, really got to understand God better was for sure. But the moment that catalyzed it for us was COVID. It's really amazing and terrifying. That is what and we have lessons in health, this like ritual that I grew up with. We love it. And all of our children now I was doing no California, but I just wanted to go to the rest of and they didn't have it. And I said, well, why are we having lessons in towns? And that's like, I don't know. There's no peaceful church about lessons in towns. What? Is it, well, COVID, and the minister sent this letter, here it is. She prayed that she's
So female. Yeah.
From COVID. And I was like, she's afraid she's going to die? Why is she worried about dying? She's a Christian minister. Like, why should she care?
Wow, there you go. That's
dying? If you're afraid to die, then you don't really mean it, do you? No! Even I was like 50 years old at the time and like probably had some reason to worry about what happens after I die. Even I'm not afraid to die. I'm a talk show host. And she's afraid to die? Okay, not a Christian. Please stop wasting our time on that.
Wow, there you
we got lots of good carols in our backyard and through your sins, we're doing it again. We get a choir that's terrible. It's amazing. So Christians can absolutely get it wrong, and do.
Yeah.
They can follow the wrong path, they can do this again. They can be silly and profane and get the worst things imaginable. The one thing they cannot do is be afraid. Period. And so, boldness, again, is not just a status extra, it's a baseline requirement for following the gospel. Not doing that, not doing that. Okay? That's the first thing. Don't be afraid. I know this. Now, it was a universalist message to the circumcised and uncircumcised, and it's to you. What you look like, what you're from, your language, it's truly a universal thing. completely radical. Never thought there was nothing like that. Never had been anything like that. Well, and so Paul was preaching to everybody. In fact, in a lot of ways, he was with the Greeks a lot of the time. But even though his concern was for everybody, his heart was focused and sees again and again. I love you. He really cares about his brothers in the faith. He really, really does. And it's intimate and kind of raw. It's wonderful. And I think that's a model for us. We should care about everybody. But we should have a soft spot for other Christians. We should. We don't at all. We don't at all. And that's one thing I've noticed the whole time I've been in this. I'm totally opposed to tribalism, particularly religious tribalism. On this, we'll speak to everybody. That is, I'm American, very American. And that's an American idea. But I can't help but notice that Christians almost completely concerned for other Christians from his portfolio. I see it all the time. I'll never forget going to Iraq over the war. Going into a place, 1.5 million of them, actually.
Yeah, there's a
It was
quite
one of the biggest and oldest Christian communities in the world.
Right.
It's gone now.
Right.
1.5 million Christians.
Saddam Hussein let them for all the how we demonized him.
That's like,
This country.
I don't know. That qualifies as genocide, I would think. I mean, by that time they're gone. A lot of them were murdered.
Yeah. See, there you
Not a
go.
lot of them came here because they were excluded, specifically excluded by the Obama State Department.
Yeah.
This was a news story at the time.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of refugees from Iraq. What percentage are Christian? None. And no one said anything about it. This wasn't hidden information. I reported it at the time. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, a lot of great people coming. Well, okay, but if you're a Christian church, what about Christians? The president who sent them there was a self-described Christian. But there was not one word in 20 years. I've not heard one word of concern. But what happened to all this? Nobody seems to care. We should care. Not just about them, but certainly about them. Why wouldn't we? They're Christians, so are we. The Christians in Syria, never hear a word about it. Look, the world is super complicated, and anytime someone tries to reduce the conflict, say, or a rivalry in another part of the world, to a bumper sticker, you know that person's lying. The closer you get to anything, whether it's a country or a marriage, or any human interaction, the closer you get, the more you know, the more you understand it's indescribably complicated. Never fully up. Okay? I'm only suggesting that one factor that Christians use to assess the behavior of their government and other governments ought to be the treatment of Christians.
Yeah.
It ought to be. Why is it not? So if there's a conflict in Syria, and you're being told by everybody in the media the bad guy in that conflict is Bashar al-Assad, pretty bad. Not endorsing the guy, looking at him. I don't live in the country. I think one of the questions you can ask is, how is it?
Right. How does he treat
We're
him?
going to do
Yes.
better than Bashar al-Assad?
Yeah.
We fund the Islamists, kill a lot of them.
Yeah.
We're funding the Islamists. We're killing the Christians.
Yes.
They didn't know that? No, sometimes Christians don't talk about it. That's true. Are we for that? I'm not for that. The only thing I know, look, it's far away. I don't think it's anything to do with us. I don't think it's as long as it's fine. Why is it? We're fighting too many Christians? No, I'm a Christian. What is that? How's that? Let's start there. Right?
Yeah.
The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, super complicated. I don't think there's an easy answer. I don't think there's a good guy and a bad guy. I don't think it's church over church. Don't think that. The more I wrote about it, the more I'm certainly not endorsing Russia. I don't live there either. Never been there. But one of the guides that we as Christians should use to assess that situation is, how do Christians fare in those countries? It's totally legitimate to ask that question. Is it easier to be a Christian in Russia than Ukraine? They're forcing us to pick. I mean, I kind of have to live in a world where I don't have to pick. I don't know, they're foreign countries far away. They're not America, I'm not that interested, but they're making us. So now that we're interested or pay for the war, why doesn't some Christian minister stand up and say, is it easier to be a Christian in Ukraine or Russia? One of those countries arrested a bunch of priests and shut down churches with political police police in the army.
Yeah.
It
That
wasn't
was,
Russia.
yeah. It was
I
Ukraine.
raised that question at a Christian gathering. People scowled at me. Really? They're arresting priests? I don't need to know. They had bad opinions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I have bad opinions. I don't want to be arrested. Bad opinions are not grounds for arrest, sorry. And moreover, the gut level reaction of Christians to the arrests of Christian clergy should be harsh. Period.
Yes.
Period.
Wow. That was good.
Well, and that's the end of it, sure?
Yes, Mom.
I mean, it just is like that. I mean, you know.
That's what he posted.
Oh, so you did, what, you did 3 hours?
Yeah. Yep.
That picture.
I do it because it's black and white, so it matches. Oh, it is?